Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm actually really excited about this video for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, I actually really like doing challenges in Pokemon Emerald. Gen 3 is really fun, and Emerald is one of my favorite games. But number two, we are picking the worst Pokemon statistically in the entire franchise. Sunkern is unique. It doesn't even evolve into a good Pokemon like Magikarp. Sunflora is not very good. And yet, it has 30 base stats in every single stat, and that's it. Worse than Caterpie, worse than Weedle. It is bad. Its move pool isn't even that good either. It gets the standard grass moves and a couple other useful moves, but it's pretty shallow for Gen 3. With all that said, will we be able, using the worst Pokemon statistically, to beat Pokemon Emerald, a game that I do think is relatively difficult? As always, only one way to find out. Let's start with Roxanne, who you might assume is very easy. I mean, I'm a grass Pokemon, and by level 14, I know Mega Drain. The first Geodude is obviously a 1-hit KO, the second Geodude is a 1-hit KO, but the Nose Pass, it doesn't do very much damage, only about a quarter. Don't forget, Nose Pass isn't ground type, so it's not double super effective. It eventually goes for Rock Tomb, which does do 18 HP. It does have a 20% chance to miss, but it doesn't miss, and I lose to Roxanne, and I was so confident I actually saved way earlier, which is very annoying, but hey, that is why overconfidence is not good for these runs. In my second battle against Roxanne, I do what I should have done the first time, and I use the move Growth. This move is super great in Gen 1. In Gen 3, it ups your special attack by 1 stage. Pretty good. With that, Nose Pass should be a 2-hit KO, which is fine. Thankfully, Geodude went for Defense Girl, and I'm actually going to go for Bullet Seed because, well, why the heck not, to be honest. I'm going to use Bullet Seed on the second Geodude, waste a little bit of time, who cares, when else am I going to use this move? Now against Nose Pass, ooh, he almost knocked it out, I got a crit, but it uses Harden, so we should be good, right? Wrong, Oran Berry, and then a Potion, so 30 more HP. Mega Drain will not knock it out, and then another Potion. And because I felt like being a little risky, I went for Bullet Seed, which is a much worse move. But hey, I got a critical hit again. It paid off, let's be clear. Roxanne was never going to be that difficult. I could have used another growth. Heck, I could have used a lot more growths. And it would have been fine because I could have gained my HP back with Mega Drain. I wanted to show you how easy this fight could be, and I think I did so by using pretty much one of the most suboptimal strategies I can think of. Alright, so Brawly's gym can be skipped, but I actually think he is the best gym leader to battle right now. Watson has electric Pokemon and steel type, so that's not going to be good. Let's just see how it goes. I decide to lead off with the move Ingrain. It gives me 1/16 of my health back every turn, basically leftovers, but I can't switch out, which I can't do anyway. Machop goes for Bulk Up. I go for Growth, so I'm also boosting my stats. It once again buffs both its attack and its defense, not that that matters, with a second Bulk Up. Now I'm hoping this will do some significant damage. I go for Mega Drain and yikes, not even half, and yikes. That did everything, alright. Now I know it looks bleak, but let's just try again. Maybe it'll go better. So this time around, I'm just going to go for Growth right away. It goes for Bulk Up. I have to go for another Growth since it's not even going to do half. It goes for another Bulk Up. I'm going to go for Mega Drain. It's going to be a 2-hit KO. It goes for a third Bulk Up, and that's pretty good because we're going to knock it out with Mega Drain. That's going to be 1 down. Now we have Meditite. I'm just going to go for Mega Drain. It goes for Focus Punch. This move is 150 base power. It always starts by going first, but if you attack, it always fails. So it's a pretty hard move to use. I anticipated going for it again, and I don't have enough power points because I didn't heal, so I go for Bullet Seed. I don't knock it out, but it once again went for Focus Punch, which essentially meant it did nothing. Brawly uses one of his super potions, that's pretty good, and I get a 4-turn Bullet Seed. That's pretty good, but it's not guaranteed it knocks it out on the next turn. Thankfully, it doesn't matter. It goes for Focus Punch, and looks like I was wrong. I did knock it out. I think it may have been a range. Doesn't really matter. That is 2 down. I only have 1 Mega Drain left. I'm going to use it against Makuhita, and it does half. Like Machop before it goes for Bulk Up, but I really need to knock it out here. I need good luck with Bullet Seed. And I forgot it has a Citrus Berry, so yeah, I think we're done. Bullet Seed in this generation is only 10 base power, so 2 is only 20 base power, and Vital Throw knocks me out. This was pretty preventable, and if you're wondering why the title screen looks so messed up, that's a thing with the Retron with using speed up. Not really sure why it does that, but I do fix it later on. Now I could go heal, that would waste a little bit of time. I want to try one more time with 4 power points on Mega Drain. I think I can do it. So once again, I'm going to go for growth, and Machop goes for bulk up. That's pretty good. I think about it, but I go for a second growth. It goes for Seismic Toss, which does 16 damage, but thankfully Mega Drain almost heals me to full. Machop counters with Karate Chop. I go for a Bullet Seed, and I knock it out. Pretty good luck there. 1 down. Now, I need some health back, so I'm going to use Mega Drain on Meditite. It went for Focus Punch. I think it always goes for Focus Punch. Now, I'd rather Brawly waste his potion here, so I go for Bullet Seed, and it only hits twice. Focus Punch fails again. So this means Brawly is going to heal this next turn. As expected, Brawly heals. I go for Mega Drain to do half damage and to heal a bit more. And because I need all my health back, I'm going to go for one final Mega Drain, knock out Meditite, and have 38 HP for Makuhita. Now I have to go for Bullet Seed, and I get a critical hit and 5-turn Bullet Seed. Unless 2 crit, that was pretty much the ideal scenario. Very lucky. Bulk up, but it is going to heal with Citrus Berry. That is 30 HP, which is pretty much full health. You know what? Actually, less than I thought. I'm just going to go for Bullet Seed here, and unless I get okay... Oh my god, that was crazy good luck. I mean, realistically, let's face it. Mega Drain is 40 base power. That was effectively 60, so going to the Pokemon Center would have helped. Gonna be honest, guys, with doing so many of these challenges, sometimes it's the little things like this, seeing if you can beat Brawly despite not having all your power points. Honestly, it's just kind of satisfying, but I am very worried about the next gym leader, Watson. Don't really have any good moves, and we're going to face a Steel-type Pokemon, which is going to resist my Grass move, so not the best scenario. However, before we battle Watson, we have to battle Mewtwo, one of the hardest rival fights in all Pokemon according to many, and it doesn't start off very well. Wingull uses Wing Attack, it does over half, and it outsped, and so I'm never going to get an opportunity to attack, and I lose. So I do what anyone would do in this situation and level up quite a bit, and it kind of worked. I mean, the big thing you're about to see is that Wing Attack is no longer doing half. The problem is that a single growth Mega Drain doesn't knock it out, and Wingull likes to use Supersonic, which can be very obnoxious. It took me like 7 attempts to get past the Wingull, and thankfully it's only because Supersonic misses. I used 2 growths because that's the only way I'm going to one-shot. So I'm at 29 HP for Combuskin. Unfortunately, that's not enough to survive an Ember. So I end up leveling up to 27. There's only wild Pokemon left. I've defeated every single trainer I possibly could. At this point, with a little bit of luck, we were able to get past the Wingull at pretty much full health, having used 2 growth. The bad news is I still don't really have a great plan for Combuskin. I'm doing about a quarter of HP with Mega Drain, and my strategy here is to go for a lot of luck, use Endeavor. That makes my opponent's HP the same as mine, in this case 13, hope for a Quick Claw, and to knock it out with Mega Drain. I actually did the wrong thing. I need to go for Endeavor turn 1, have Quick Claw not activate, and then have it activate turn 2, if that's the strategy I want to use going forward. So I didn't even do it properly. I try again at level 28, but unfortunately, spoiler alert, it doesn't go that much better. I mean, I am able to consistently outspeed Wingull, which is very, very good, but unfortunately, I still just can't really get rid of Combuskin. Mega Drain's doing a little bit more, but Ember just does so much damage to me, I don't have really any way, or at least any reliable, consistent way of knocking out Combuskin, and I've been trying for about half an hour at this point. Finally, after about like 100 attempts, I'm not kidding, I was able to get a Supersonic miss. I'm going to set up 3 growths. I am hit by Supersonic, but thankfully, by the time I use Mega Drain, I have snapped out of confusion, and I'm just about at full HP for Combuskin. So now against Combuskin, I'm going to use Mega Drain. It does just under half. It goes for Focus Energy. I go for another Mega Drain, and since Combuskin is under a third of its HP, it gets a 50% boost to Ember and almost knocks me out. I survive on just 1 HP, but for the first time, I've actually knocked out this Combuskin. Thankfully, the final Pokemon is Lombre. I can go and use Mega Drain. Because of all the growths, I do decent damage. It goes for Nature Power, which becomes Swift, and I am able to knock out Lombre. So the first time we got past Combuskin, was the first time we beat May. We got a very lucky range. Also with focus energy, I was getting crit all the time. This was one of the most annoying fights I've had. It took me over half an hour to beat May 2. So no matter what run I do, it seems like anytime there's a challenge run, May 2 is going to be pretty tricky. And our reward for this is something I was stressing about just before we started talking about May, trying to beat Watson. Watson leads with Voltorb, so I go for Sunny Day. Combined with Sunkern's ability Chlorophyll, this will double my speed for the 5 turns Sunny Day is up. I then go for Growth. This still only raises my special attack by 1 stage. However, in later generations, it would raise it by 2 in Sunlight. Voltorb goes for Shockwave, that's fine. I set up a second Growth. It goes for Spark, which has a chance to paralyze. That would be bad, so I go for Mega Drain, and it almost knocks out Voltorb. It goes for Shockwave, unfortunately gets a crit, but better than Spark and a Paralysis. Now I know Watson is going to heal here, so I go for another Growth. This should one-shot Voltorb. By this point, however, the Sunlight is faded, but this actually isn't too big a problem. After it uses Shockwave, I can set up another Sunny Day, and I may be able to sweep through most of Watson's team. Alright, so let's go for Mega Drain, and wow! Alright, I think we got a good range the first time and a bad this one. And there we go, the Paralysis from Spark. Yeah, we're done. I decide just to play it out, but we're actually done after Voltorb uses Self-Destruct, so yeah, let's try that again. Voltorb starts off by using Spark, I go for Growth. It goes for Shockwave and I set up Sunny Day, so I'll now outspeed. I then think about what I want to do next, and eventually I decide I'll go for another Growth. It does go for Spark, but thankfully no Paralysis. I go for a third Growth, another Spark, no Paralysis. I decide to go for Mega Drain, hoping I get the range, which I don't, but that's okay. Shockwave is fine. We're going to burn one of Watson's Super Potions, and that gives me a free turn to set up the 4th and final Growth, hopefully. I also knew the Sunlight would fade, so it's going to use Shockwave. That's really good. I'm going to go for Sunny Day, and I hope we sweep at this point. Alright, so we know this is going to one-shot. Crit didn't matter. That's 1 down. Next Pokemon's Electrike. That's easily going to one-shot. 2 down. Unfortunately, Magneton comes out before Manectric. I don't think this will one-shot. I go for Mega Drain, and it's not even doing half. It uses Thunder Wave. I do have a Cherry Berry equipped, so I will heal myself for now. I go for Mega Drain again, but unfortunately, it will hit with the Thunder Wave, and now I have to hope I'm able to attack every turn. There's a 1 in 4 chance I won't be. The sun's faded, but that's kind of irrelevant since I'm paralyzed. It goes for Shockwave. I'm able to attack, and I'm able to knock out Magneton. I was also worried it would use a Super Potion there, so all in all, very good result. Manectric is the final Pokemon. It goes for Howl. I can't attack. That's what I was worried about. It goes for a second Howl. I go for Mega Drain, and while initially I'm happy, I forgot that all the final Pokemon have a Citrus Berry, so it's going to be 2 more hits. Manectric goes for Quick Attack, which is +2. Does a bunch of damage. I'm able to attack, but I think it might heal here. As I feared, Watson heals. Sucks about the Citrus Berry. I put it in a perfect range. Thankfully, I'm able to hit with Mega Drain, and pretty much Manectric's at the same amount of HP it was prior to the Citrus Berry. 1 more hit should knock it out. It goes for Quick Attack. I'm able to knock it out with Mega Drain. And honestly, so far this hasn't been too bad. Watson and Roxanne's second try victory. May 2, like, 1,000th try victory. And Brawly probably would have been a first try victory if I just restored my power points. Overall, with how bad Sunkern is, I am very happy. But this is where my reverse frown gets turned upside down. Because reverse frown's a smile and I'm going to start frowning. I don't know why I said that. But the point is, Maxie on Mount Chimney is pretty difficult sometimes. And I don't know if Sunkern is going to have the best time here. Now, the biggest problem is not actually Mightyena. It's going to look like a problem. That's just because I keep spamming Secret Power. Mightyena does have Intimidate, however. And since I'm only able to use 1 Pokemon in battle, I'm not going to be able to shake off that attack drop. The reason I'm using Secret Power is that Secret Power's secondary effect depends on the terrain. Now, I'm pretty sure Rock is where we are, which would cause confusion, yet I couldn't get it to activate, meaning it might be Cave, which is Flinch. That wouldn't make a ton of sense, but I'm very unsure why I can't seem to get a confusion, and Mightyena obviously knocks me out. Now, obviously, we could just use Mega Drain, but there's another problem. Actually, two of them, really. The first is Mightyena using Sand Attack, which it just did, and it can actually keep using Sand Attack, so while I can spam Growth, and I can actually use up to 6 of them, that's not going to help very much when Camerupt comes out, and I'm not able to hit it because my accuracy is in tatters. So essentially, I have to knock out Mightyena very quickly. Well, in this attempt, I do just that. Now, Maxie doesn't always go for Sand Attack, sometimes it goes for Bite, and thankfully I'm outspeeding. After I set up my second growth, it's used Bite a second time, I'm going to faint, so I go for Mega Drain. That is not going to knock out Mightyena. That will get Maxie to heal Mightyena. I anticipate that, so while I misclick, I am trying to go for Growth, not into the items menu. And I should knock out Mightyena here. Come on! Oh no, that's the worst. We will knock out Mightyena, but that accuracy drop will be kind of annoying. Now, I don't think Camerupt can actually do all that much to me. I'm going to go for Mega Drain. Thankfully, I hit and I do about half. It goes for Focus Energy. Thankfully, Camerupt is ground type, and we hit again, and we knock it out. 2 down. The Pokemon I'm most worried about is... oh, it's a Zubat. I don't know why I thought it was a Golbat for some reason. Gonna be honest, I think in Ruby and Sapphire it is a Golbat, but maybe I'm just misremembering. I go for Secret Power, it hits, and it's doing about a third. It goes for Wing Attack. Uh-oh, this could be a 2-hit KO. I'm not going to knock it out, obviously. Yes, I survive. Yes, I hit. That actually wasn't too bad, but it does give you a preview of one of the most annoying Pokemon for Sunkern. With the Zubat line being Poison Flying and Mightyena using Intimidate, that combination is brutal because I don't really have a good move to actually use. Thankfully, there shouldn't be too many Golbat, Crobat, etc. But I do think there are a couple more coming up, so that'll be fun. But that's a problem for future Gyros. Current Gyros has a big problem coming right up, and that's Flannery, the Fire-type gym leader. Alright, I'm just going to say my expectations here are 0. We're going to lose. Let's figure out why we're going to lose. First things first, I do outspeed. Numel is slow. Overheat one-shots. So as I reset here, let's talk about the reality of the situation. Overheat is 150 base power, it does miss 10% of the time, and after it hits, it sharply lowers your special attack, but the problem is, it only needs 1 hit to knock me out. Now I want to know whether Mega Drain will do decent damage. The answer, not even half. So even a critical hit would not one-shot Numel. Having said that, there was an ace in the hole I was hoping for. In Slateport City, after you've gotten the TM for Secret Power, you can buy the TM for Hidden Power. Hidden Power is a weird move that didn't even make a return in Sword and Shield. The way it used to work was like this. It could be between 30 and 70 base power, and based on your IVs, it wouldn't just determine how strong it was, but what type it was. Unlike in later generations, Hidden Power would either be a physical or special move based on the type it would be. And I was really hoping for Hidden Power Water. With that, I would easily be able to beat Flannery, but with that said, without RNG manipulation, or using a cheating device to see what my hidden power would be beforehand, it is extremely difficult, if not impossible, to determine what your hidden power would be based on the initial stats you see when you pick a Pokemon at level 5. It's just impossible to know exactly what your IVs are, and without that information, you can't tell exactly what your hidden power will be. I got kinda lucky, but not really. As it would turn out, I ended up getting Hidden Power Ground. And while that does a lot more damage to Numel than Mega Drain, it's not enough to one-shot. And if it's not enough to one-shot Numel, it's not going to be enough to one-shot her other Pokemon, including a Torkoal. Additionally, while Growth boosts my special attack, it doesn't boost my attack. So there's no way to power up Hidden Power other than just leveling up. Even if I were to get the Soft Sand, which is available in Slateport City, as you're about to see, it doesn't make any noticeable difference. Without leveling up, I still don't even knock out Numel. And so you might be wondering, based on what I've said, why am I even bothering to try again? But that's really just me being disappointed. I realized that, in fact, I need to use another far riskier strategy in order to beat Flannery, and it's going to involve leveling up a little bit. But Hidden Power, even though I seem to get lucky, is just not the winning strat. And this battle is the best way to illustrate that. I've leveled up enough that I actually have Giga Drain, which is 60 base power. Overheat misses, which is great, and I'm able to one-shot. I don't think the crit mattered. Against the Camerupt, I do think it mattered, but that is still 2 down the first time I've made it past this Camerupt. And then we have a Slugma. Hidden Power can knock that out. But now we have Torkoal. I knew Hidden Power wouldn't be the strat. I wanted to see how much a single growth Giga Drain would do, and it's doing about 20%, which isn't bad. That gives me a little hope, but Torkoal hits me and knocks me out. As I continue to battle Flannery, I refine my strategy a little bit further. At this point, it still relies on an overheat miss, but I can reliably knock out the first Numel with Giga Drain. As for Camerupt, this is where I need to rely on a little bit more luck. I've deleted Hidden Power, which you can rebuy. I've taught Attract. 50-50 chance the opponent attacks me. It does, and it knocks me out. But you can see where I'm trying to go here. 8 battles later, I get another attempt. Now, sometimes Numel doesn't use Overheat because it's actually no longer a guaranteed one-shot at my current level. It will prefer it, but it can use something like Magnitude, which allows me to set up the single growth and knock it out. Now that I've made it to Camerupt, you know I'm going to use Attract. It doesn't attack turn 1, and on turn 2, I set up Growth. It doesn't attack again. I am very much hoping Giga Drain will knock it out in one hit, but it doesn't. Thankfully, 3 consecutive times it's immobilized by Love. Flannery will heal with a Hyper Potion, giving me a turn to use a third growth, and that will one-shot Camerupt. While Slugma isn't bulky, it does resist Giga Drain. I figure at this point it's worth seeing whether I will one-shot, and I do. This time I make it to Torkoal with 3 growths. I try to do at least half, I don't. So even a critical hit wouldn't have saved me. Too bad Torkoal doesn't miss either, so I probably have to use Attract here, but I can kind of see a pathway. Alright, after a few more unsuccessful battles, I got another attempt get past Numel. I go for Growth. Overheat, like I said, is not a guaranteed one-shot. I go for Giga Drain and knock it out. Now against Camerupt, I have to go for Attract, and I need some pretty good luck. I decide to go for Giga Drain immediately, hoping to get it within healing range, but I just miss. And that really stinks because it's going to use Overheat. I get the 10% miss chance on that. I can knock out Camerupt, but I only have 1 growth set up. At this point, I learn that only 1 growth is needed to knock out Slugma, but we're going to have to set up growth against Torkoal, which is really the same thing as Camerupt, to be quite honest. It's just later in the fight. I go for Attract on Torkoal, and this time it doesn't attack me. I have 1 less growth than I want, so I'm going to go for Giga Drain. It does about a third. I'm hoping 1 more growth is all I need, so I go for it. Torkoal doesn't attack, and this is the moment of truth. Do we do enough damage? No. And unfortunately, here's where we run into another problem. I ran out of Giga Drains. Not that it really mattered because Overheat happened to hit, but we need to do this without running out of power points. We only have 6 as of now, and even though I've leveled up to level 43, it's still pretty unlikely I win. Well, I did level up a little bit more, and it took me about another 30 minutes of battles. This battle started like many others. At this point, Overheat will never one-shot, which is pretty good, meaning I can set up a growth for free, knock it out, and I'm at half HP. It'd be nice if it missed, but not necessary. Against Camerupt, you've already seen what I need to do. I need to use Attract and get the 1 in 8 chance that Camerupt does not attack for 3 consecutive turns. I am only going to set up 3 growths, but because I leveled up, that should be all I need to defeat the Torkoal. By the time I knock out Slugma with Giga Drain, I will be at full HP. Unfortunately, it's totally irrelevant because Overheat will still one-shot if it hits. At this point, the battle comes down to a 1 in 4 chance. I need 2 consecutive immobilized by Loves. We are 0 for 8 at this point, by the way. I use Attract. It doesn't attack, so it's down to a coin flip, and I've lost 7 times here, which is ridiculous, but thankfully the RNG powers that be. Shout out to Angel. Anyone watch that show? They make up for it with a crit, 6.25% chance of that happening, and after about an hour and a half of trying, I have made it past Flannery. And while I do think there will be other difficult battles, I anticipate, even though it's early on, this one should rank in at least the top 3. It is just so difficult for me to beat bulky Pokemon with just grass moves. And honestly, if there was some way of guaranteeing I would have Hidden Power Water, you have no idea how much faster this would have been, but what can you really do except think ahead to Norman, who typically is pretty difficult, but because I'm very over-leveled, perhaps he might not be as difficult as he usually is. Norman is one of the gym leaders where there is a significant change between Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald. He only has one slacking, but he has an extra Pokemon. That Pokemon is Spinda, and Spinda is significantly less of a threat than a slacking is. I outspeed and go for growth. It goes for facade, which is 70 base power, not doing a lot to me. I go for another growth. It goes for another facade. And heck, it's not going to knock me out, so I go for a third growth. It goes for another facade. Now it probably will knock me out, so I just go for Giga Drain, gain a bunch of HP back, and that's one down. Vigoroth does outspeed. Thankfully, Slash doesn't crit, and we knock it out with Giga Drain, 2 down. Now Lanoon can be a big problem because it has Belly Drum, but half HP, no problem for Sunkern, 3 down. But here's the Pokemon I'm worried about. Slacking without its ability would basically be a legendary Pokemon in Gym 5. It goes for Facade. I survive, and I do enough damage with Giga Drain. Even with the Citrus Berry, it's only doing 30 HP of gain, and I should knock it out with my second Giga Drain. While Slacking is powerful, it can only attack every other turn. And a first try victory against Norman of all gym leaders is kind of surprising to me. Surely you would have thought Roxanne was going to be, but hey, I will take it. Although, let's be honest, I am significantly over-leveled, but that gap will shrink as we proceed to Fortree City. Before we get there, however, we have the final battle with May, only the third one. This time May leads with Pelipper, and Pelipper likes to spam Protect. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to predict when Pelipper is going to Protect. Man, too many P's. Let's hope my pop filter is working here, but I'm not going to set up all 6 because Pelipper does have a chance to use Supersonic. And it is raining, so Combuskin isn't nearly as scary as it was before. So after I've set up 4, I'm going to knock it out with Giga Drain. As it would turn out, I don't believe Combuskin actually knows any fire moves. I go for Giga Drain, it comes close to knocking it out. It goes for Bulk Up. I go for Cut, but that was silly because Bulk Up boosts its defense. It goes for Peck, which does decent damage, but not nearly enough. It's not same type. I knock it out with another Cut, which is silly because it could have missed. And then comes out Lombre. It outspeeds and goes for Swift, but with all my growth set up, I'm able to knock it out, and the final May battle is a little bit of a dud. I mean, there is an optional battle in Lily Cove City, which I always do to gain experience points, but that is the last mandatory May battle, so it's the last time we have to talk about her in this run. But don't you worry, the difficult battles, they're not over. We're gonna have to battle Fortree Gym Leader Winona at some point. I'm not going to battle her now because A, we don't actually have to, and B, like Flannery, it is a type that I am both weak to defensively and do not do much damage offensively. So it is not a good matchup at all for Sunkern. Instead, I'm going to go and do the plot stuff, including battling Maxie in the Magma Hideout, an Emerald exclusive place. And it didn't go very well. So you're going to see some of the annoying stuff Mightyena can do. Intimidate, we already saw that. Scary Face can lower my speed, and Swagger boosts my attack, which is good. It's just +1 because of Intimidate. It also can confuse me, but then comes Crobat. And Crobat, like we talked about earlier, I don't really have any good moves for, and it has Air Cutter, and I hit myself in confusion. Well, I try in vain to battle Maxie for about 10 minutes, and the reason I'm so persistent is that there's really not another good option. The only other mandatory trainer I have remaining is Winona, and I don't think Winona is going to be substantially easier than Maxie. Now, in Emerald, Winona leads with Swablu, and that sounds like it's a really good thing, but it's actually a problem because it knows Perish Song. I just used 2 secret powers to knock it out. As for Pelipper, it likes to troll with Supersonic and Protect, which is really annoying, but I am able to both get off 1 growth and knock it out with Giga Drain, but I'm at extremely low HP, and then comes out Tropius. Thankfully, I am male, so I can use Attract. However, I can't do much damage with either Secret Power or Giga Drain, so that's gonna be bad. Still, I do see a pathway, so I keep on battling. I know that Swablu always goes for Mirror Move turn 1 for some reason, so I can set up Growth, and for whatever reason, Mirror Move doesn't work on Growth. I thought it mimics anything, and in case you think it's because Growth is a status move, just wait a second here. Anyway, I'm going to keep spamming Growth until it goes for Mirror Move again. This time, it Mirror Moves Attract. So it just ignores Growth for some reason. I really don't understand why. But at this point, I'm now attracted, which isn't good, so I'm just going to go for Giga Drain and knock out Swablu. Eventually. Pelipper does like to use Protect, but just in case it doesn't, I go for Giga Drain. I was right, it wasn't going for Protect, and I knock it out 2 down. Here's where I needed to teach a new move. Instead of Secret Power, I can teach Sludge Bomb. That won't be good for Crobat, but we'll worry about that later. Does about half to Tropius, and it goes for Sunny Day, meaning I'm going to have double my speed, which is amazing. Thankfully, it wasn't enraged to heal, so I can knock it out with a second Sludge Bomb, only 2 more Pokemon remaining, but they both double resist Giga Drain. Skarmory does have bad special defense though. Nonetheless, it is double resisted, so I'm going to go for Retract. It goes for Sand Attack, which sucks. I go for Giga Drain, and before you think that's amazing, notice it is a critical hit. Now, I think Skarmory's going to heal here. Oh, it doesn't. That's good. So we knock out the Skarmory, we've made it to the final Pokemon, Altaria. Like Skarmory, it double resists Giga Drain, so I go for Sludge Bomb, I miss, and it goes for Dragon Dance. That's really bad. It now outspeeds, goes for Aerial Ace, and I go for Giga Drain just because I was curious how much it would do. It's doing about 20%, which all things considered is pretty good. Unfortunately, it's going to outspeed, go for Aerial Ace, and just win, but all in all, that looked pretty decent. Unfortunately, at this point, that's about as far as I could get in terms of beating Winona. I battled her again and again for like half an hour, and the reason I was so persistent is that I don't just want to level up past my problems, but realistically, it just wasn't going to happen, and there were a few problems with my strategy. The first is Giga Drain has very low power points, and so even in cases where I got pretty close, I would run out of power points. Another big one I mentioned is Swablu with Perish Song, ruined a lot of attempts. Now, if you've been counting, as I knock out Pelipper, you'll notice I'm +5 in special attack, so I'm about as good as I could possibly be. I also get the Sunny Day from Tropius, meaning I outspeed everything. I do get unlucky with Skarmory, just like the battle you just saw. I try to use Attract so that I don't get hit with Sand Attack. It still happens, but Skarmory doesn't attack. It's a 2-hit KO, which is crazy when you consider it is double resisted. But we've made it to Altaria for like the 20th time. But it kind of doesn't matter because Altaria can just deal so much damage. Yes, Giga Drain may have seemed better, but I promise you Sludge Bomb is still doing more damage, and it knocks me out fairly quickly. Unless I were to get insane luck with Attract, it's very difficult to win with my current strategy. And this is where things can get a little bit frustrating for me. There aren't too many trainers left. There's nowhere really to go. And so leveling up takes a really long time, and we're clearly stuck. We're not really close to knocking out Altaria, and we were nowhere close to knocking out Crobat, and we don't really have any other creative moves or strategies I can use. Sunkern's move pool is pretty limited. Thankfully, there is May 4, and just like in Generation 1, the 4th rival battle, at least at this point of the game for Sunkern, it's pretty much a joke. She doesn't even have a Blaziken. But as I just said, there aren't that many more trainers they actually have to battle. I would have benefited immensely from the Versus Seeker like you have in Fire Red Leaf Green. Without that, it just takes forever to gain levels. There are EV reducing berries, and I'm not level 100, so we could do that, but I do want to save that until the very end for the Elite Four in case I have to. And so the solution to this conundrum is just to level up, so it would seem. Now, I haven't leveled up all that much, but Winona is both closer in terms of where I actually was in the game, and if I beat her, I can use Fly, which is pretty useful. And to be quite fair, we weren't that far away from beating her. We only had one Pokemon left, so let's just try and see what happens. Like before, I'm going to set up a Tract on Swablu because I don't want to deal with Perish Song. I then am going to set up as many growths as I can until she either uses Mirror Move Attract or Perish Song, which necessitates a reset because I'm actually not supposed to use any of my other Pokemon in battle. They're just with me for HMs, and it's really annoying to keep depositing them, so I don't bother. Now, as we've been talking, Swablu has already Mirror Moved Attract, and I've set up 5 growths. I am going to use Giga Drain at this point, and I'm going to knock out Swablu. As we know, 5 growths means Skarmory will be a 2-hit KO, and it shouldn't heal, although I'm at a higher level, so maybe that's a bit of a risk, but we'll see. Pelipper, I guess wrong. Thinking it's going to go for Protect, I go for Growth. It goes for Supersonic. Of course it hits, so now I'm confused. Now it does go for Protect. I unfortunately don't hit myself in confusion, so I waste one of my precious power points for Giga Drain. I then think about it, I go for Attract. I actually snap out of confusion here, but this was just to delay my confusion counter. because I don't want to be confused against Skarmory. Pelipper can't actually hurt me all that much, and once we use Giga Drain, we're going to gain all our HP back anyway, so it's all good. Just like last time against Tropius, we're going to use Sludge Bomb. It's going to set up Sunny Day. That's great for me. It doesn't heal. We knock it out. 2 left. Sand Attack sucks, so I'm going to go for Retract. I really don't want to see it. It doesn't attack, so I have a coin flip that it never attacks me. 1 more. It doesn't attack me, so I'm able to knock out Skarmory. Full health. Tons of power points. If there was ever a time for me to win, it was here. Even with the sun fading, I am going first. I use Attract. It goes for Aerial Ace. That's not great. I go for Sludge Bomb, and it's poisoned. That is 1/8 every single turn. Unfortunately, I am 0 for 2 with Attract, so this looks like a loss. I might as well go for Giga Drain, gain some health back, and whoa, that did way more than I thought it would. I should have gone for Giga Drain right off the bat. Unfortunately, Altaria is probably going to heal. For whatever reason, it has an Oran Berry, not a Citrus Berry. But like I said, it's not going to matter. Winona also has Hyper Potion, so it's back at full HP. I've seen how much Giga Drain's going to do, and I need more HP back anyway, so I'm going to use it. Unfortunately, that was my last Giga Drain, but with poison damage, it's doing pretty well. I need Altaria not to attack me. It doesn't. 1 more Sludge Bomb will knock it out. It heals. That sucks. Now, if you haven't noticed, it's actually a speed tie, so I go first. It doesn't attack me, so I am going to win. But that poison turn 1, in combination with the fact I actually could outspeed Altaria prior to a Dragon Dance, is a big reason I won. 1 level higher obviously would have been better, but I am not going to complain about a victory here. 6 gym badges down. We now can actually fly from place to place, which is super nice because having to walk everywhere or bike everywhere, totally miserable. Unfortunately though, there's really only one place we actually need to go. That is back to the Magma Hideout to try and defeat Maxie. Unfortunately, unlike Winona, it isn't really seeming to go much better. We can knock out Mightyena. That's not a problem, and Swagger can miss, which is kind of nice. The problem is still going to be the Crobat. I mean, now that we don't have Secret Power even, we have to use Giga Drain, and once we're confused, it's just so hard to even hit the Crobat, let alone knock it out. With that said, you can equip a Persian Berry so that you don't get confused, but as you're about to see, that only helps so much. Now, I don't have the Persian Berry equipped in this fight. I do snap out of confusion and knock out Mightyena with Giga Drain, but this is kind of what I was trying to get at. Giga Drain with 3 growths doesn't do anything, and Crobat does over half, so what in the world are we going to do? Unfortunately, leveling up seems to be one of our only options, so I come back at level 61, and honestly, it doesn't seem to make that big of a difference. I have the Quick Claw equipped as opposed to Persian Berry, because after Mightyena uses the Scary Face, I do still want to outspeed. It might help, but it doesn't matter if you don't get enough growths up. Now you might be wondering, J-Rose, why not teach something like Secret Power or Return? And I might do that, but it is risky. The only moves I would be able to reteach to Sunkern are both Giga Drain and Growth, both of which I kind of want to use in this battle. Sludge Bomb and Attract, once I delete them, they're going to be gone for the rest of the run. Move Relearner cannot reteach TM moves. So you might be wondering, do we just have to level up a bunch? Not exactly. I did delete Attract for Secret Power. We're going to set up Growths because they're going to be useful later in the battle. We do have the Persian Berry. That will increase our attack a little bit, which is what I wanted. And now you can see Secret Power does a decent amount of damage. I also want to get rid of the Super Potion here because Crobat is far more dangerous. It goes for Wing Attack, I go for Secret Power, and the critical hit is what allowed me to win. That's what I was hoping for. Double Swagger, critical hit, that's what I needed to have happen. Now you can also see why I set up all those growths, because the final Pokemon is Camerupt. It may have been problematic, but I'm able to one-shot, and we finally defeat Maxie. This took me an hour and a half. But surely now it's all smooth sailing going forward. You know it's not. Tate and Liza are very annoying in solo runs, because it's supposed to be a 2-on-2 battle that I'm doing 2-on-1. Now, the game won't actually let you start the battle with less than 2 Pokemon, so I bring in a Magikarp because it can't actually do anything. It does help because about 90% of the time, Xatu targets Magikarp with Psychic, and then Claydol uses Earthquake, which I resist. That lets me set up a free growth, which could help. Now, Xatu outspeeds and goes for Calm Mind, which is bad, and Giga Drain doesn't one-shot Claydol, which is also bad. I wanted to see how much Sludge Bomb would do to Xatu, but I didn't get a chance. It crit with Psychic, and yeah, this is going to be fun. However, I'm obviously not going to give up so easily. I'm going to battle them again. I'm going to set up Growth on turn 1. Xatu is going to use Psychic, knock out Magikarp. Claydol's going to use Earthquake. Xatu goes for Psychic. It does significant damage, but Giga Drain, I believe, is a range. I got a crit, which may have mattered. Doesn't matter. I do knock out Claydol. And the next 2 Pokemon, Solrock and Lunatone, are both weak to Giga Drain. Speaking of which, here comes Solrock, but Xatu outspeeds, nearly knocks me out with Psychic, but I'm able to use Giga Drain. It does one-shot Solrock, and hopefully that gives me enough HP to get past Lunatone. Alright, do I survive the next Psychic? I don't. So I think we need to either level up, or maybe get the Shell Bell from Shoal Cave, one of the two. I opt to level up because I think I'm going to have to anyway, so might as well now. With leveling up a little bit, I'm hoping that I survive Psychic just a little bit more. So we're going to see the exact same strategy to start with, and this time, Xatu actually helps out tremendously. Rather than using Psychic turn 2, it goes for Sunny Day, which does combo into Solar Beam, which Solrock knows, but for me, that means I'm going to outspeed everything, and I didn't get attacked, and it wasn't Calm Mind. However, now the big question is, what will Xatu do while I knock out the Lunatone and Solrock? Well, after I knock out Solrock, it goes for Calm Mind, which is pretty bad, because had it attacked me, I could have gained a bunch of health back after knocking out Lunatone, and it actually goes for another Calm Mind. I have to go for Sludge Bomb here, and even though I get a critical hit, it does not knock out Xatu. With 2 Calm Minds, it is able to one-shot me with Psychic, and that's bad. Now, I realize that looked kind of close, but it's a little less close than you'd think, because we actually got Insane Luck. Remember, Xatu set up Sunny Day, which actually helped me out a great deal. What if it doesn't set up Sunny Day? I actually kind of wanted to use Psychic, because I usually will have enough HP at least to make it to Xatu, but if it uses Calm Mind, it outspeeds, and it will knock me out in one hit after just 2 Calm Minds. And guys, I tried many times. I was not able to get much closer to knocking out Xatu, so it was time to level up a little bit more and get the Shell Bell. Instead of telling you how it works, let me just show you how it works. I do try to change up the strategy a little bit and knock out Xatu first. I use Sludge Bomb, and you'll notice my HP goes up by a little bit. It's actually 1/8 of the damage I deal, I gain back in health. So it's not very good, but you can't get leftovers until the post-game, so it's the best we have. Now, Xatu is going to be a 3-hit KO, and I need to even my odds. So I decide to go for Claydol, and Xatu hits me with a critical hit Psychic. All is not lost, however, because as you're going to see, with Shell Bell and Giga Drain, I'm going to gain back enough HP that I will survive another Psychic, and I'll be able to knock out the Lunatone with some HP to spare. Unfortunately, Sludge Bomb is not going to 2-shot unless I crit or get a poison. I get neither. So Xatu is able to knock me out, but if I did not get a critical hit against me, I think I would have won. I also decide to change up my strategy a little bit. Once again, Xatu's going to knock out Magikarp. This time I go for Growth first. Now I'm going to Sludge Bomb the Xatu. The reason is I'm hoping for a Sunny Day, which will help me outspeed, and I should gain all my health back, even if it used Psychic, from using Giga Drain on the next 3 Pokemon. Now that the sun is set up, I'm going to go for Giga Drain. I don't immediately gain my health back, but after Shell Bell I will, so that's 1 down. Unfortunately, I didn't realize Xatu can use Confuse Ray, so that kind of sucks. Luckily, I don't hit myself in confusion, and I knock out Solrock, 2 down. It uses Psychic, no crit, so once I knock out Lunatone, if I can hit, I'll be at full HP. I'm still confused, I hit. Very good, so I'm at full HP. It's a 1v1, and it uses Calm Mind, that's okay. And because of that, I'm going to try to be a little bit sneaky. I'm going to use Giga Drain in hopes that I don't put it in range to heal. It hits with Psychic, but the sun has faded. Do I outspeed Xatu without the sun? It all comes down to this. We outspeed. Oh, I'm happy it also didn't heal. I was worried I'd done just a little bit too much damage, but it worked out perfectly. Yes, I'm at a very high level, but it is nice when a plan comes together. Now, I acknowledge it's very hard to convey how long some of these battles take when you're seeing only the highlights, but this one, while not as bad as Maxi, wasn't good either. We have had, ever since we beat May 3, a consistent string of really difficult battle after really difficult battle. And while the 8th gym itself might be okay, there's one more major battle I'm worried about. We finally defeated Maxi for the final time, and now we have to battle Archie, who also has a Mighty Enna. You've seen the strategy before. Swagger is going to come into play, Scary Face. I'm going to only set up 2 growths, and unfortunately, I'm going to hit myself in confusion multiple times, and I lose. But don't you worry, I can try again. This time, hopefully we'll get a little luckier. We use growth, Scary Face misses, and I'm just going to go for Giga Drain, and I'm going to knock out Mighty Enna. But remember our old pal Crobat? Well, here's another one, and because I don't have that attack boost, remember we were hit by 2 Swaggers, we have minus 33% in attack. So Giga Drain, even though it's double resisted, is going to do more damage. Crobat isn't as dangerous offensively because I'm so over-leveled, but it's still dangerous enough, can use Confuse Ray, and can easily knock me out, and oh my gosh, do I not want a reprise of the hour-and-a-half Maxi fight? Oh god. Thankfully, this would only take me 8 minutes, which is still a long time, but it's nice. I do get hit by Scary Face. We've gone back to relying on growth. I do have the Persimberry as opposed to Shell Bell, and thankfully, the second Swagger misses. Unfortunately, the third Swagger does not, and I hit myself in confusion. Thankfully, it's a speed tie, so I outspeed. I'm able to get off Giga Drain, I'm able to restore my health, and most importantly, I'm able to knock out Mighty Enna. Just like last time, it's the 2 Swaggers which are going to come in clutch. Crobat is going to use Wing Attack, and it does significant damage, almost half. I have Secret Power, but this is going to put Crobat in range to heal. Archie only has Super Potions, and thankfully, my second Secret Power does just enough after Super Potion to knock it out. The final Pokemon is Sharpedo. It goes for Slash. Thank goodness it didn't crit. And we knock out the Sharpedo. You might be wondering why I haven't taught Return yet. There is an answer. I do want to save it in case I need it for the Elite Four. We have been changing our moves a little bit, and the thing I like about Secret Power is if I need to delete it, I can rebuy it infinitely. And if you've watched enough of these runs, you'll know there is no worse feeling than having a strategy that would have worked, but because you didn't think about it quick enough, you weren't able to use it. But speaking of strategy, I hope I won't really need much of one versus Juan. He is a Water-type gym leader without many good Ice moves, and I'm a Grass-type. This should be a good matchup, no? I set up growth. Love Disc uses Water Pulse. I'm not worried about the damage, which is like nothing. I'm worried about confusion. 20% that happens. I decide to be risky, set up a second growth. It uses Attract, which is annoying, but isn't going to hurt me. With that said, I'm pretty over-leveled. Water Pulse might confuse me. Let's just go for Giga Drain. Unfortunately, I can't attack, and there we go. Confused, Attract. I hate this gym leader. I hit myself in confusion, and at least I'm not worried about Water Pulse. It's doing under 10 damage. We hit ourselves in confusion again, but statistically, we will eventually use Giga Drain, and that should restore us pretty much to full HP. Now, I'm going to be honest, I was kind of angry at this point, and I'm like, you know what? If I'm not going to attack, I'm going to use Growth, so this is the only time I'm going to have to do this battle. If we win big. And I do snap out of confusion and use it. That said, every Water Pulse could confuse me once again, and it's only 50-50 I attack, but thankfully, after being immobilized for one more turn, I'm able to use Giga Drain, and I go from 61 to 109 health, but that's going to rise again because Celio is pretty slow. I've set up more than enough growths to one-shot. I do one-shot with Giga Drain, and I'm at full HP. The Pokemon I'm most concerned about is Kingdra because it's just normal effective. I outspeed, which I guess I'm 30 levels higher, makes sense. And I one-shot. Alright, we won. Whiscash is double weak to grass. I think you know what's about to happen here. And finally, Crawdaunt really isn't much of a threat. We're going to use Giga Drain, and we have a first try victory against Juan. And I acknowledge that more traditionally, he'd probably pronounce something like Juan or whatever, but I just don't speak any Spanish, and I feel kind of weird trying to do a fake accent or whatever. But it is an interesting question whether I should pronounce it that way or just go with the more quote-unquote Americanized, I mean, I'm not even American, pronunciation. But while you guys are deliberating between Juan and Juan, we are going to the Elite Four. There is one more trainer standing in our way. But unlike Ruby and Sapphire, Wally is at the beginning of Victory Road as opposed to the end. Unfortunately, Wally leads with Altaria, one of the worst Pokemon for me to face. I start off by using Sludge Bomb, and it does get poisoned. Safeguard a little too late, Altaria. Now I'm going to switch to Secret Power because I want to avoid Wally healing, but I get a critical hit and knock out Altaria, so I'll take that. Now, you'll know this isn't my first time battling Wally, because after I use Sludge Bomb, Toxic hits, but I have the Pecha Berry. I ran out of Giga Drain, so I had to go to the Pokemon Center, which is why I didn't even bother showing you the first battle. But obviously, that's how I knew to have the Pecha Berry. Roselia doesn't heal, which is good, and that's 2 down. Against Delcatty, I go for Growth. There is a Magneton, so I'm going to want to set up some growths. Unfortunately, 55% chance it puts me to sleep with Sing. Thankfully for me, Delcatty can't really do very much to me. It keeps spamming Feint Attack, which is a special move, not same type, not super worried. It does have Assist and gets Thunderbolt, which isn't very good. And while I went for Giga Drain initially, once I wake up, I actually set up a second Growth. Hilariously, this time Delcatty's Assist gets Giga Drain. Assist randomly picks a move one of the other Pokemon has. I think it can be feinted, so that might have been Roselia's, or Gardevoir can learn Giga Drain, I think. Regardless, we knock out Delcatty with our Giga Drain, and there are only 2 Pokemon remaining. Magneton is the first one. It might be the worst one because it can use Thunder Wave, but we get a super clutch critical hit, and now it's just Gardevoir left. I'm hoping this will one-shot. Not quite. Gardevoir has quite a bit of special defensive bulk. It goes for Future Sight, which should be fine. Wally is going to heal, and I outspeed, so he will not have another opportunity to attack me. And so even though Wally is going to heal a second time and Future Sight will hit, it does barely anything to me. And we are going to be able to knock out the Gardevoir, and that leaves us with just 5 trainers remaining in all of Hoenn. The Elite Four and the champion who uses Water-type Pokemon. Not gonna lie, I'm a little optimistic, but before we can even think about Wallace and his Water Pokemon, we have a long, long way to go. We have to start with the Dark-type trainer, Sydney. That means another annoying Mightyena to deal with. Let's do this. So like I said, we're dealing with a Mightyena. That means we're dealing with Intimidate. I set up Growth. It goes for Sand Attack. Hooray! We are able to knock out Mightyena with just 1 Giga Drain, and next comes out Sydney's ace, Absol. I try to hit with Giga Drain, I miss. It uses Aerial Ace, it does about half. I try to hit again with Giga Drain, I miss. It goes for Swords Dance. I miss again with Giga Drain, and this is when I realize, oh wait, I have no power points left, I don't even care if this knocks me out. We can't miss versus Absol. But Sydney's not guaranteed to use Sand Attack, so let's just try that again. It should go better, right? Well, I'm going to use Growth. This time it goes for Double Edge. I'm going to use Giga Drain. It's going to knock out Mightyena. Now comes out the ace Pokemon, Absol. I go for Giga Drain, and it comes so close to knocking it out. It heals with Citrus Berry, and I try to preserve my power points going for Sludge Bomb, but after that Intimidate, it won't knock it out. So I need 2 Growths. As it would turn out, getting a battle where Sydney doesn't use Sand Attack is pretty rare. So instead of resetting, I just start going with it. So after I set up Growth number 1, it goes for Sand Attack. I set up that second one, so I one-shot Absol, and it goes for Crunch, which is pretty good. Now, the key is not missing here. I don't. Very good. But we also can't miss versus Absol. Come on. Okay. I mean, if we leveled up a little bit more, this would be a lot easier, but we'll take that. 2 down. Now, Shiftry is weak to Sludge Bomb. I decide to use it, and after Intimidate, it's doing nothing. It sets up Double Team. Man, this is so annoying. I then miss with Sludge Bomb, and it uses Swagger. Hooray. Unfortunately, since I didn't realize Shiftry had Swagger, I don't have a Person Berry, but I am able to attack and knock out Shiftry. 3 down. The next Pokemon is another Grass Pokemon, Cacturn. I try to use Sludge Bomb, but I hit myself in Confusion. Feint attack, so I'm going to feint if I don't hit here. Please don't miss no Confusion. Okay, I mean, there's a lot going against me in this battle, so I'm not surprised if I lose to Crawdaunt, but this is my best matchup. Thankfully, I snap out of Confusion, I hit with Giga Drain, and while this battle was pretty annoying, I was able to beat Sydney in only a few tries. Not too bad at all, but if we thought Sydney was a troll, wait till we go and battle Phoebe. While she doesn't have any moves that lower accuracy, her Dusclops have the ability Pressure, meaning every time I use Giga Drain, it's taking away 2 power points instead of 1, and I have a maximum of 8. I kinda need all of them, so I need to be extremely careful where I use them, or I won't have enough for her later Pokemon, and Sludge Bomb is resisted by Ghosts, Secret Power can't hit. Yeah, this could be really bad. Now I know she likes to spam Protect turn 1, so I go for Growth, and I predict correctly. Sometimes she even likes to double up on Protect, so I go for a second Growth, and I'm right, but if I was wrong I could have used Curse and that would have been bad. It is for that reason I go for Giga Drain. Unfortunately, I don't knock out Dusclops, and it hits me with Confuse Ray. Phoebe is going to heal. I hit myself in Confusion. I'm thankfully able to not hit myself in Confusion and use Growth. It goes for Shadow Punch, which does decent enough damage. I get too greedy though, set up another Growth, and that could spell the end of this run because Curse is going to take away a quarter of my maximum HP every single turn for the rest of this battle. And you know what? I'm not even interested, I'm just going to reset. Now, unlike in my Red and Blue solo series, I have no problem saving between Elite Four members. There's already been significant luck involved in a run like this, so I'm not very concerned. Speaking of luck, this time, Phoebe does not double up on Protect, immediately goes for Curse, and I decide just to go with it for now, just to show you why this doesn't actually work. She sends out her ace Pokemon, her second Dusclops. Giga Drain actually does decent damage, but it uses Ice Beam. Okay, it freezes. Hilarious. I stay frozen, and yeah, I lose. But I was going to show you how I don't have enough HP, or even power points of Giga Drain if I have to use multiple for each Dusclops. So it seems like the key to Phoebe is setting up enough against the first Dusclops that Giga Drain should one-shot the rest of her Pokemon. This battle, we get 1 Protect, that's good. Double Protect, very good. Triple Protect, I mean the last one failed, so this one actually worked, that's great. Unfortunately, on turn 4, we do get Curse, but we have 4 Growth set up. She might go for Protect, but I have to go for Giga Drain. I knock out Dusclops, and I'm at roughly 3/4 HP for the second Dusclops. I need Giga Drain to one-shot here, and it does. We might actually win. 2 down. The only concern I have is outspeeding Banette. We do. We will gain all our HP back, and that's 3 down. Sableye might not have any weaknesses, but it's not very strong itself. We knock it out with Giga Drain. 4 down. I think we won. I don't believe this Banette should be any faster. Well, doesn't look like it is, at least not from my perspective. And 4 Growths, even with a Curse, was enough to knock out all of Phoebe's Pokemon. So it looks like, at least for Phoebe, we came up with a pretty consistent strategy. And Sydney, I mean, we have to rely on some luck. That's a little annoying. But the next Elite Four member is Glacia, who uses Ice types. And I'm a Grass type. Yes, a lot of her Pokemon are also Water type, but they know Ice type moves. And that's not very good for me. She leads with Celio, and I believe Celio always goes for Hail on turn 1. Looks like I'm right, so that's good. Now I'm a little concerned about it using an ice move, so I'm just going to go for Giga Drain. It's super effective. We knock out Celio. 1 down. Next comes out another Celio. We're going to go for Giga Drain. We're going to knock it out, even though it's a couple levels higher. 2 down. Her ace is Walrein, but it's also a water Pokemon. We're going to go for Giga Drain. It actually knocks it out. Walrein's fairly bulky, so I'm pretty happy. Only 1 growth needed, only 2 Pokemon remaining. Unfortunately, the next Pokemon are Glalie, and those don't have water type. I'm going to go for Giga Drain. It actually does pretty decent damage. I think 1 more growth we would have knocked it out, but it goes for Ice Beam, and although it doesn't actually one-shot, Hail is going to finish me off, unless it stops at the perfect time. I lost count. Okay, very good. And while Giga Drain did great damage to Glalie, I don't think it's actually in healing range, and I don't think we're going to win this, but we made it pretty far. The only way we win is a 6% critical hit chance. Might as well try for that. We don't get it. Okay, alright. So I need to set up a little bit more on the first Celio, but this looks really doable. Alright, so let's try this again. We're going to lead with Sunkern, go for growth, it goes for Hail. We're going to go for a second growth, and it actually uses Ice Ball. Now, the next Ice Ball would knock me out, so I have to go for Giga Drain. That's not going to knock out the second Glalie. So I'm going to try to go for growth against Celio number 2. It knows Blizzard. Probably would have helped to look up the movesets, but not a big deal. We can't set up against the second Celio. That's now certain. Now I'm fairly confident this isn't going to work, but let's try anyway with the 2 growths. So we know how this is going to start. We go for growth, it goes for Hail, we go for growth. I figured it'd go for Ice Ball, and we knock it out with Giga Drain, 1 down. Obviously this time we're not going to set up any growths, we're just going to use Giga Drain against Celio number 2. Against Walrein, no such thing as a Generation 1 miss, so we're automatically going to knock it out, and now it's down to the Glalie. This time the Hail stops even before I attack. I go for Giga Drain, and it doesn't knock it out. It goes for Ice Beam, and it... Oh, I thought it actually did knock me out. I survive on 1 HP. I think I might win, because this Glalie is now within healing range. While it heals, I can set up another growth, and I may actually do enough damage to the second Glalie to one-shot. Alright, so we're going to knock out Glalie number 1. Moment of truth. Do we do enough damage? Yeah. I think it survived on like 1 HP. I guess easy come, easy go. Unfortunately, it's higher level, so Ice Beam is obviously going to one-shot me even if I was at full health. Being at a higher level would be nice, but this is actually doable now. I mean, it looks like a range, so if I get some favorable odds, I should win, no? So at this point, we actually know how the entire fight is going to go up until the second Glalie. We know that it's going to be Hail and Ice Ball. We're going to knock out Celio number 1. We're just going to attack Celio number 2 right away. We're going to knock it out. We know we're going to attack Walrein right away. And shockingly, I know, we're going to knock it out. And here is where I'm not sure if I can one-shot the Glalie here. I hope I don't, actually. We do put it within healing range, but it is oh so close. We survive on 5 HP, so a little better than last time. We set up the third growth. We knock out the first Glalie. And now we just need a good range, I think. And we actually didn't get it. I have no idea. We got a critical hit. We won. I don't know if it's a range. I kind of want to know that, but it might not matter. The reason I'm not excited at all is that the next Elite Four member is Drake. And Drake not only has Altaria, which double resists Giga Drain, but Salamence, which double resists Giga Drain. And oh yeah, has the Intimidate ability, so I lose some attack. Just the best thing ever. Remember how I said I wished I had Hidden Power Water for Flannery? Well, I wish I had Hidden Power Ice. It would make Drake an absolute joke, but without it, this may be a real obstacle for Sunkern. Now this might seem familiar. I go for growth and the first Pokemon uses Protect. I'm not sure why the game loves this strategy, but it is everywhere. I'm anticipating another Protect, I get it. So I've set up 2 growths, that's pretty good. I'm going to go for Sludge Bomb. I just want to see how much it's going to do. Oh, that's not good. I do get a poison, that's kind of nice. It goes for Rock Tomb, which would lower my speed, but thankfully it misses. Now I hope I'll get another Protect. I don't. Rock Tomb hits. That's too bad. At this point, with 3 growths at half health, we know Giga Drain should do a lot of damage. It does in fact knock out Shelgon, and we have a speed drop, but we should be in pretty good shape with 1 down. Next up is Flygon. It goes for Flamethrower, does very decent damage. We will be able to knock it out with Giga Drain, I think. We do. Very good. We don't gain back nearly enough HP. I think we're done. Since, like I said, Altaria double resists Giga Drain, I decide just to see how much it's going to do. I don't know, what's that, like 15%? It went for Dragon Dance, which is pretty dangerous. It goes for Aerial Ace and almost knocks me out. Sludge Bomb, well, it's doing more than Giga Drain, but not by a lot. And there's another Aerial Ace. Okay, this is going to be bad. Not abysmal for my first try, but we didn't even make it to Salamence. I'm not optimistic here. Even though I think it's going to go horribly, let's just try this one more time. So I'm going to set up Growth. It went for Protect. Another Growth, Rock Tomb, that's not ideal. A third Growth, another Rock Tomb, and a crit, that's awful. Fourth Growth, it went for Protect. Alright, time to go for Giga Drain. I think I'll knock it out in one hit. A failed Protect, and... ooh, not quite. It's probably going to heal here, so I'm just going to use another Growth, and... oh. That's actually really good, because I need to know how much Salamence's attacks do to me, and how much I do to Salamence. Now, I know Salamence has Flamethrower, and... oh, God. I don't think that's a range. It's hard to tell, but... I don't know if I'm slower because of Rock Tomb, but I got outsped and one shot. That's not going to work. Now, I'm going to battle Drake one more time, but I actually am only battling Drake in order to lose. It is very clear to me at this level with this strategy, it is not possible to beat Drake. I mean, I could change up my strategy, yes, but I'm going to be honest. I am the weakest Pokemon statistically in the entire game. There are tons of rare candies I haven't gotten yet. I might as well retry this at a much higher level. I mean, we cannot be outsped in one shot by Salamence and then think, oh yeah, we have a chance. I don't know what that chance is. We'd have to rely on Sunny Day or something, and that's another turn to set up. It's just not going to work. Not only am I going to collect a bunch of rare candies though, but I'm also going to go and redo my EVs. For now, all I'm going to do is lower all my attack using Kelpsie Berries. One of the major advantages of modern technology and why I actually do runs in Emerald nowadays is I don't actually have to wait the days it takes for these berries to grow. Instead, I can just import my save, change the clock, and doing that, I can just get the berries instantly. Truth be told, it's so dumb it takes forever for these berries to grow. Just a needless waiting mechanic, but it's not one that affects me anymore. But after using all the Kelpsie berries we can, we're going to head over to Route 113. Why? Because 95% of the time on that route, you'll encounter either Slugma or Spinda, and with the Macho Brace, if you knock them out, that is 2 special attack EVs. And even though it seems like I'd want to use attack to knock out Drake's Pokemon, with Growth, I think special attack is the way to go, even with the double resistance. It only took me about 25 minutes to do all this, which isn't bad whatsoever. And let's go battle Sydney and see how things have changed. First off, I'm level 90 now, so that might make a pretty big difference. I'm still going to set up one Growth. It goes for Sand Attack. That's unfortunate. I do hit and knock out Mightyena. Missing against Absol would still be kind of bad, but I don't. So that's 2 down. Now, I'm going to use Sludge Bomb here, and even though I'm level 90, since I took away all my attack EVs, I'm doing the same amount of damage to Shiftry. It goes for Double Team just like the last battle we saw. I go for Secret Power, so I don't put it in range to heal. It goes for another Double Team. And I get pretty lucky. I hit with Sludge Bomb. That is 3 down. The next Pokemon is Cacturn, but remember, I boosted attack last time. I miss anyway. It goes for Cotton Spore, which isn't great, but not the end of the world. I do hit. It does about half. Feint Attack's not doing too much damage. It goes for another Feint Attack, and that's not great. Half health against Crawdaunt. Probably going to outspeed me. This could be interesting. Alright, what's going to happen here? Swords Dance. And we hit. I was a little worried we'd miss because after Swords Dance, it probably would have one-shot me. But that went well, all things considered. I'm going to save after, so that should be, hopefully, the last time we see Sydney in this run. And I'm also hoping this is the last time we see Phoebe. I thought the strategy we came up with last time was fairly consistent. As long as we don't get confused or something, this should be a first try victory. Alright, so Dusclops uses Protect, I use Growth. Nothing new. It doubles up on Protect, I double up on Growth. It triples up on Protect, and that gives me a 3rd Growth. I use one more Growth because it's what I did last time. It goes for Shadow Punch, and I think we're ready. Please don't use Protect. It doesn't. All right, I think this is going to be a clean sweep. Better Dusclops comes out, Better Dusclops gets knocked out, and we already know at this point that the battle is over. We were outspeeding them before we even reached level 80. Obviously, now that we're level 90, we're going to outspeed. And so, as I had hoped, Phoebe ended up being very easy, but I also think that Glacia is going to be very easy. I mean, we had a strategy that wasn't quite super consistent because we just didn't do enough damage. With the EV training and over 10 more levels, this should be super easy, no? This battle starts the same way every time. I go for growth, it goes for hail. I use growth again, it goes for ice ball. I probably could set up another growth, but I don't think I need it. I'm going to knock out Celio number 1. And obviously, I'm also going to knock out Celio number 2. And shockingly, I know, I'm going to knock out the Walrein. But the real moment of truth are these two Glalie. I'm not too worried about this first one. I'm going to go for Giga Drain. We knock it out in one hit, but that means we didn't have an opportunity to set up a second growth, so I don't know if we'll actually deal more damage. All right, moment of truth. Good enough. I don't know if that was a range. I don't know if I could have lost that battle. I know I won on my first try, and I am happy with that result. I am going to save the game because Drake still should be unbelievably difficult. Last time we battled, I didn't even see the pathway to victory. Let's at least try to find that in our first attempt at level 90. It clearly didn't go for Protect, which sucks. It went for Rock Tomb. That means I'm going to lose speed. I'm going to set up a bunch of growths. I get Protect, but we get another Rock Tomb here, and it's time to attack. There's the Protect I didn't want to see. Double Edge. It doesn't even take recoil damage because of its ability. But we do one-shot once we hit with Giga Drain, and we're level 91. That's not bad. I'm not sure if we survive a flamethrower. We do. We do. Okay, that's fine, but we need a reliable way to defeat this Altaria. It goes for Aerial Ace. I go for Giga Drain. That may have bought me one more turn, but I think this battle is over unless I get a crit. It goes for Aerial Ace again. I was wrong. The battle was already over. Great. Now you might be wondering what happens if you get better luck against Shelgon. Well, we get the Protect turn 1, which we want. We get the failed Protect turn 2, and we get a Protect turn 3, and we get Double Edge turn 4. So no speed drop, 4 growth. This is about as good as you could possibly get. We're going to knock out Flygon, and we outsped it. That is great. We go for Giga Drain against Altaria. It's doing about a third. It goes for Dragon Dance. I try to get a poison with Sludge Bomb. I can't get it. And I really don't want Altaria to heal. I'm hoping a Sludge Bomb poison will knock it out. We get both, but it survives. And unfortunately, unlike in Generation 1, they have full restores. So all the good luck I've had against Altaria has been undone. Plus, as I start to attack it with Giga Drain, which is clearly a 3-hit KO after 4 growth, it uses another Dragon Dance. That means it will outspeed me, and that also means Aerial Ace, despite the fact it's 60 base power, one-shots me. The funny thing is, even if we get past Altaria, it's not like it's smooth sailing. We get a bunch of battles where the Shelgon cooperates, either missing with Rock Tomb or barely using it. As it would turn out, I would need to set up all 6 growth if I have any chance of getting past Altaria. Unfortunately, that means you're likely going to get hit by Rock Tomb, Flygon's going to outspeed, and you're not going to be at full health. However, with setting up all those growth, Giga Drain is doing half damage to Altaria. Aerial Ace isn't doing enough, and we are going to... No way! I mathed this out! No! Alright, apparently I miscalculated and Altaria actually can live 2 Giga Drains even with 6 growth. Now, assuming we don't get unlucky, we actually should make it past because it's going to heal. We use Giga Drain. We have enough health. Aerial Ace. Yes. Okay. That's good. But now we have Salamence. And since we already have reduced speed, it's just going to outspeed and use Flamethrower. So all that celebrating was making it 3/5 of the way past the final member of the Elite Four. That's not a really great victory there. But if you've watched this channel long enough, you know that eventually I'll come up with a bit of a unique idea, and this is something I've had in my back pocket the entire run. We're going to start off the same way. I hope for a Protect, I get it, and I set up another Growth. It goes for Double Edge, that's fine. I'm going to go for Giga Drain, and as it turns out, I only need 2 Growth at this level to knock out the Shelgon. And because I haven't been hit by Rock Tomb, I outspeed Flygon and I knock it out as well. And here's where things are about to change. I'm going to set up Sunny Day. Not only does this ensure I outspeed Salamence, but I also can use Solar Beam, which is 120 base power as opposed to 60 base power and doesn't require return to charge if used in the sun. Altaria is able to hit me with another Aerial Ace, but I am able to make it past the Altaria and at least see now how much damage something like Solar Beam would do. The sun is up, I outspeed. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to win. It's going to knock me out with Dragon Claw, but if I set up 4 Growth instead of just 2, I'd knock out Salamence with Solar Beam. That is, however, a little easier said than done. We'll talk about one other reason, but importantly, timing the sun is something that can go wrong, and if the sun is mistimed, it runs out before you're able to use the Solar Beam, and Salamence will just outspeed and knock you out. The biggest problem though is Shelgon. It's the Pokemon we have to set up against, and it can do a lot of different things. We want it to just miss with Rock Tomb, spam Protect. And you can see, when that happens, we can set up 4 Growth and remain at pretty high HP. Now, because of what just happened, I set up a 5th Growth, not because I really need it, but because I need to time the sun a little bit better. Even though I've been hit by 2 Rock Tomb, I'm going to be able to outspeed the Flygon and knock it out with Solar Beam. I'm going to use Solar Beam against Altaria, and I hope I actually did enough damage for it to heal. It goes for Aerial Ace, and yes, it healed. That means I can set up the sun. I may have actually just won. I'm not certain, though. I'm going to use Giga Drain not just to gain some HP back, but to make sure it doesn't heal again. It goes for Aerial Ace, and we can knock out Altaria. And now is when I just realized that we're not going to win. It's a 2-hit KO, and I don't know what I was talking about. And it doesn't matter because Salamence outspeeds. Because even with the sun up, it doesn't matter. With sun, we can only be hit by Rock Tomb a single time, and it's still a 2-hit KO, meaning I think I'm relying on a 6% crit chance. Oh, this is actually really bad. I mean, truth be told, we've had worse battles versus Drake. But yeah, having to rely on a 6% crit chance is not my favorite thing to do in the world. And because of that, I am going to alter my strategy just slightly. I'm not going to set up 4 Growth, I'm only going to set up 3. And that's going to help ensure Shelgon doesn't use 2 Rock Tomb. We can knock it out, it's fine. Flygon is going to outspeed, but we're going to gain almost all our HP back with Giga Drain, which is why we still have it. I'm going to set up Sun versus Altaria. Solar Beam does over half, but Altaria no longer will heal. Unfortunately, it set up 2 Dragon Dance, so I think Altaria is going to knock me out. Oh, I survived. Not bad. I mean, there's a chance I could win this one. Come on, 1 in 16 chance? Yes. All right, I mean, that's pretty good. Not bad at all. And I just remembered there's another Pokemon. Uh-oh. I remember what it is. Another Flygon? No, it's a Kingdra. That's right. We should outspeed, and we should knock it out with Solar Beam. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. And I don't want to be arrogant, but I think I can thank you guys for watching at this point. I mean, Wallace's team does not match up well against Sunkern at all. I think it might be even easier than the 8th gym leader, whatever we decide to call him going forward. I mean, seriously, just spam Growth and one-shot everything, right? Only one way to find out. Alright, I've played this game enough to know Wailord likes to use Rain Dance. I'm going to go for Growth. It goes for Rain Dance. And I'm just going to go for Sunny Day to weaken water attacks. Wailord can punish with Blizzard, which misses. Nice. I was worried about that. I think I would have survived. And I don't know, just spam Solar Beam at this point? I mean, we should easily one-shot Wailord, no? Okay, pretty good. 1 down. My Milotic is bulky in special defense, but against Solar Beam with a powered-up special attack? Nuh-uh, 2 down. Tentacruel might not be a 1-hit KO, though. Very high special defense, partially resists Solar Beam. Oh, it's also 1-hit KO. GG. I mean, Ludicolo maybe will? Come on, Ludicolo, I'm rooting for you! Ah, Ludicolo, you let me down. The sun is faded, but I don't think I need it anymore. Whiscash. I mean, it's double weak to Giga Drain. But the final Pokemon is Gyarados, not necessarily a walk in the park. I probably should have used Sunny Day against Whiscash. I'm going to go for it now. It goes for Dragon Dance, which is a little scary. I still should outspeed. All right, moment of truth, I outspeed. That's the game. Drake was the real final boss. And at the end of the day, the champion was an absolute joke. First try victory with the weakest Pokemon in the entire series. Craziness. I know some of you will want me to battle Steven, but Steven is post-game. There are no credits that roll after you defeat him. And this video is very, very long. And what kind of sucks about the Hoenn games is that while Steven is definitely a more difficult champion, Emerald is by far a more difficult game. So it's hard to know which one to use, but regardless, this has been a very long video. I'm actually very happy how Sunkern did overall, and honestly, I'm curious how it and many of the other weak Pokemon I've already used would do in later generations, more modern games. But that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.